Feel your feet firmly planted on the ground. Now, imagine that even in this steadiness, there's a relentless race happening inside your very mind. But what if I told you that even when physically still, many of us live in a rush, rushing after an uncertain future, trying to escape a past that's already gone, and losing ourselves in the precious moments of now. We've been conditioned to hold on tight, to exert control over everything, our goals, our relationships, our ideas, even our deepest pains. But could it be that the real secret lies not in holding on, but rather in learning to let go? Perhaps this is the moment to simply stop and just be there, present, unburdened, truly alive. Today, you're going to discover the surprising reason why this constant attempt to control every aspect of your existence might be precisely what prevents you from experiencing the fullness of life. Do you feel like thoughts imprison you? Does anxiety suffocate you? What if I reveal to you that there's a powerful key to unlock your mind and find genuine spiritual freedom? Taoism. This ancient wisdom unveils an unexpected path to release control and embrace the flow of life. Want to unravel this mystery? Stay connected. Have you ever found yourself in that vicious cycle of trying to control every detail, every outcome, and in the end, feeling only more anxiety? I know that feeling well, the sensation of a racing mind, a tense body, as if carrying an invisible weight. But today, we will embark on a transformative journey, exploring the profound wisdom of Taoism and how it can guide us towards genuine inner peace. Imagine for a moment the lightness of simply flowing with life, without the constant need to predict or manipulate every event. Seems distant, doesn't it? But believe me, this spiritual freedom is within your reach. Taoism, with its millennia-old teachings, invites us to a radical shift in perspective. Instead of fighting against the current, how about learning to navigate with it? This philosophy shows us that true strength lies in acceptance, in detaching from our rigid expectations, and in understanding that the universe has its own dance, its own rhythm. By letting go of the reins of control, we open space for life to manifest in its fullness, gifting us with an inner peace that we would never find in insisting on bending reality to our will. If you yearn for this spiritual freedom, if you're ready to question the patterns that imprison you and discover a lighter and more authentic way of living, then this is your moment. Stay with me, and let's together unravel the secrets of Taoism for a true spiritual awakening. After all, the spiritual urgency of living a full and conscious life is now. Up to this point, we've explored how the incessant pursuit of mental control distances us from inner peace, and how the wisdom of Taoism offers us a path to liberation. Now, we will deepen this understanding by turning our attention to our own body. For, as Taoism teaches us, the mind and body are intrinsically linked, and the tensions we carry physically can be a direct reflection of our internal states and our difficulty in letting go of control. It's not just our mind that clings, that tries to exert control at all costs. The body also carries the marks of what the soul hasn't yet managed to release. Have you ever stopped to observe your physical tensions? That persistent pain in your shoulder, your jaw clenched without you realizing it, your short and panting breath. Taoism teaches us to read the body as a faithful map of our internal state. Think about that moment of great anxiety. It's almost palpable, the tension that settles in your shoulders, in your chest. This connection between body and mind is undeniable. Every physical discomfort can be a silent cry of the soul, an energetic knot that reflects an attachment, a fear, a need for control that we can't let go of. Try a simple observation throughout your day. When you feel most irritated or worried, notice where that emotion manifests in your body. Maybe it's a knot in your stomach, a throbbing headache. Tai Chi, with its slow and conscious movements, invites us to feel every part of our body, to release accumulated tensions. Just like in Tai Chi, the search for spiritual balance passes through body awareness, by allowing the body to relax so that the mind can also find inner peace. After all, as Buddha wisely said, peace comes from within you. Do not seek it without. Recognizing the body as a mirror that reflects the mind's attempts to exert control, we begin to unravel a subtle pattern that frequently imprisons us, the cycle of the very pursuit of control and the emergence of anxiety. The more we strive to hold the reins of life tightly, the more anxiety can manifest, like a sign that something is out of alignment. And this anxiety, in turn, can intensify our need for control, creating a cycle that distances us from the serenity we long for. And in this recognition of our body as a mirror of our mind, we begin to perceive a vicious cycle that often imprisons us, the cycle of control and anxiety. The more we try to hold onto the reins of our life, the more anxiety settles in, like a constant warning that something is beyond our reach. And the more anxious we feel, the greater the need to exert control, in a desperate attempt to re-establish security. It's like trying to hold sand in your hand. The tighter we squeeze, the more it slips through our fingers. Taoism invites us to observe this dynamic with simplicity. Water, in its essence, seeks the path of least resistance, flowing freely. If we try to force it to climb a waterfall without its own momentum, the result will only be wear and tear and frustration. Similarly, in our lives, the attempt to control every outcome, every interaction, every thought, leads us to a state of constant tension and anxiety. We obsessively check cell phone notifications. We plan every minute of our day with rigidity, fearing any deviation from the script. This invisible pattern distances us from the natural flow of life and prevents us from experiencing true inner peace. Taoism reminds us of the importance of trusting the flow, of allowing things to unfold, opening space for the spiritual freedom that resides in accepting the present moment. The understanding of this cycle of control and anxiety leads us to examine one of the most common ways in which we try to exert this control over the future: planning. Although the elaboration of plans can bring an illusion of security and direction, the wisdom of Taoism warns us about the dangers of rigidly clinging to these blueprints, ignoring the intrinsically fluid and unpredictable nature of life. It's undeniable that planning brings us a sense of security, a certain comfort in knowing that we have a roadmap to follow. But Taoism warns us about the false peace of exaggerated planning. We create detailed plans for the future. We visualize every step, every outcome, and we cling to this vision tooth and nail. The problem arises when life, in its inherent unpredictability, decides to take a different turn. And it's at that exact moment that frustration sets in, corroding that initial feeling of security. Think of a river that traces its path to the sea. It may have curves, encounter obstacles, divert its course, but its final goal remains the same. If the river insisted on following an imaginary straight path, ignoring the terrain and natural barriers, it would only encounter resistance and perhaps even dry up. We are like that river. Having a direction, a goal, is important, but rigidity in clinging to a specific plan can blind us to the opportunities and the learnings that arise along the journey. Taoism invites us to be like water, adaptable, flexible. As Heraclitus wisely observed, we suffer because we cannot accept that things change and constantly evolve. The true ancient wisdom resides in recognizing that the map is not the territory. Our plans are just guides, and we need to be open to recalculating the route when necessary, embracing the flow of life, instead of fighting against it. This adaptability allows us to find a more resilient spiritual balance, where unforeseen events are not seen as threats, but as part of the dance of existence. The illusion of security that we find in rigid planning often leads us to fill every moment with activities and expectations, fearing any instant of emptiness or uncertainty. However, the wisdom of Taoism invites us to reconsider our relationship with the unfilled, revealing that it is precisely in empty space, in the absence of noise and in the pause, that resides a surprising potential for creativity, intuition, and a profound spiritual awakening. Perhaps amidst the whirlwind of information and stimuli of our daily lives, the idea of creative emptiness seems strange, even frightening. But Taoism teaches us a profound ancient wisdom contained in what is not filled, in the absence of noise. That which is not said, which is not seen, is what makes the sound of music, as Confucius reminds us. It is in the silence between the notes that the melody takes shape and meaning. Imagine a ceramic vase. Its usefulness does not reside in the clay itself, but in the empty space inside it, which allows it to hold water or flowers. Similarly, in our lives, moments of pause, of inner silence, are essential for new ideas, new perspectives, and a true spiritual awakening. To arise. If we fill every second with activities and thoughts, there will be no space for intuition, for the subtle voice of our soul. Creative emptiness is not synonymous with inactivity or boredom, but rather with a state of receptivity, of potentiality. It is in the silence of meditation, in the contemplation of nature, in the intervals between our tasks, that we can connect with our deepest inner peace and find innovative solutions to the challenges we face. Instead of fearing emptiness, Taoism invites us to embrace it, to recognize it as fertile ground for self-knowledge and for the manifestation of new possibilities. It is in this space that true spiritual freedom flourishes. The profound understanding of the importance of emptiness and space in our inner world, as we explored in recognizing the creative potential and the peace that resides in the absence of noise, naturally leads us to another essential aspect of the wisdom of Taoism: detachment. Just as we have learned to value the space between thoughts so that intuition may flourish, Taoism invites us to apply this same philosophy of letting go and allowing space in our relationships. It is by detaching ourselves from the need for control and possession over those we love that we truly open space for authentic love and for the flourishing of each individual's uniqueness. We have arrived at one of the most transformative pillars of Taoism: detachment as a profound form of authentic love. In our culture, we often confuse love with possession, with the need to control the other, to mold them to our expectations. But Taoism offers us a revolutionary perspective. Letting go is not abandoning, but rather liberating. Let go or be dragged, as Buddha warns us. Imagine a bird you love. You can keep it in a cage, offering it security and food, but you will be depriving it of its true nature, to fly freely. Authentic love, in the Taoist view, is like opening the cage door, allowing the bird to follow its own path, trusting in its ability to fly. This doesn't mean you don't care, but rather that you respect its individuality and its process. In our relationships, whether they are romantic, familial, or of friendship, excessive attachment generates suffering and limits the growth of both. We want the other to be as we expect, to follow our plans, and we get frustrated when this doesn't happen. Detachment invites us to love without holding on, to value the other's presence without the need to possess them. It is the flow in relationships, the acceptance that each has their own rhythm and their own choices. This detachment, paradoxically, strengthens bonds, as it allows authentic love to flourish in a terrain of freedom and mutual respect, leading to a profound spiritual balance. We have delved into the depths of the wisdom of Taoism and discovered how the incessant pursuit of control can imprison us in a cycle of anxiety, distancing us from the inner peace we so long for. We have seen how our body reflects the tensions of our mind, how the rigidity of plans can lead us to frustration, and how the apparent absence of creative emptiness is, in fact, a space of infinite possibilities. And, perhaps the most liberating of all, we have understood detachment not as coldness, but as the most genuine expression of authentic love. Throughout this journey, the ancient wisdom of Taoism has shown us that true spiritual freedom resides in releasing the ties of our need for control and embracing the flow of life. Just as water finds its way, we can learn to navigate the waves of existence with more lightness and acceptance, finding a profound spiritual balance. I hope these reflections have touched you and awakened a spiritual urgency to apply these teachings in your daily life. May you observe your body more attentively, allowing it to guide you on the journey of letting go of what no longer serves you. May you find beauty and potential in emptiness, and may your relationships become lighter and truer through detachment. If you felt touched by these words, I invite you to take the next step on this journey of self-discovery. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue this path of spiritual growth with us. Leave your experiences in the comments with the science of intuition and how it has been a teacher for your own spiritual awakening. Let's grow together, not only in mind, but in heart. And if you still want to delve deeper into this process, watch our video, observe, be silent, awaken, which will help you understand more about how reality manifests peace and light.